Alright, so today we're solving more equations and we're learning about more numbers, new numbers. In particular, we're learning about this number I. And to start off, we're going to start off with a little story today. We'll do things a little different. The story starts off with a little girl, much like this one. And the little girl's daydreaming about having a pet. And of course, she would like a dog. And the dad says, no, dogs are too much responsibility. Why don't we go for something else? And she says, okay, how about a unicorn? A unicorn. Well, that sounds like a great idea for about 20 seconds, but then the dad gets on the computer and checks Amazon, and of course there are no unicorn in stock right now at Amazon. And so that idea is kind of gone. So then we try something else. Well, how about fish? The little girl thinks and says, how about a fish? Fish are simple and easy to find. And of course the father says, okay, we'll do some fish and let's see how that goes. And so that night the dad brings home a fish bowl and they fill it up with water, but this is a very, very special fish bowl. It has 4 magical doors. It's called the 4 magical door fish bowl. In fact, that's the name of the story. And I'll explain what that means in just a second. So the dad brings a fish bowl and of course a couple fish, and there you go. You've got a couple fish in the fish bowl, swimming around, happy and all that. And the girl is happy as can be. And then of course night comes, and that night the fish are sleeping. And at night, guess what happens? Nothing happens. They wake up in the morning. And there they are, the fish in the magical fish bowl. Nothing happened. And then the little girl says, you know what, I like that. I like the 2 fish, but I wonder if they're lonely. Maybe we could have more fish in the fish bowl. And so she starts to wonder, could we add more fish to the fish bowl? Could the dad stop at the store on his way back from work and buy some more fish for the fish bowl? Because 2 is not that good. And then, guess what happens? So 2 fish are not as many as we would like, and so the little girl says, can we have more fish? And of course, the dad tries his best, picks up a couple fish, and now we have 4 fish in the fish bowl. 4 fish in the magical fish bowl with 4 doors. And that night, something interesting happens. That night, the fish notice the 4 doors, and something very, very special is happening. At night, each of these fish, when there are exactly 4 of them, and no more or no less, 4 at a time, they can each approach a door and press this special button, and they're going to be gone. And so that's exactly what they do. 3 is not enough, and if there were 5, well, 4 of them could go, but 1 would have to stay. But in this case, we have 4. 4 exactly. They approach the door, and they're gone. The next day in the morning, nothing, no fish. They're all gone. Of course, there's still water here, but that's all there is, the water and the doors. And that brings up a lot of questions. Where did they go? Well, they went to where Finding Nemo goes, or they went to the river or somewhere. But the point is, they're not here anymore. They vanish, gone. And so, interested by this puzzle, the little girl observes that when there were 4 fish at night, there was 0 left in the morning. And so the next day, we bring in 5 fish. And what happens? 5 fish are there happily swimming at night, and in the morning or during the night, 4 of these fish approach these magical doors and they leave. And when they go, there's 1 that's left over. And of course, the doors don't work with only one fish. You have to have 1 on each door. And so this one's left all by its lonely self in the morning, and there you go, 1 fish. So this goes on for a while until the girl figures out exactly how many fish she can have. And it goes something like this. You have a mapping here. Let's do a little mapping. If you have 4 fish to start off the night, you will end up with a 0 in the morning, because 4 of them will go into each of the doors. If you have 5, 4 of them will leave, and only 1 will be left in the morning. If you had 6, for example, 4 of them would leave and you'd have 2. If you have 8, you'd have 0, because 4 of them would go, and then you'd have another trip for another 4, and so they would all be gone by morning. If you had 10, for example, there would be 2 left over, because 4 of them would go and 4 of them would go, and there'd be 2 left over. That's how many you'd have if you drop 10 fish at night. In the morning there'd be 2. And so if you had, for example, I don't know, 15, well, 15, you'd have 4 that would go, and then you still have some more for another trip, another 4 and another 4. That makes 12. You'd have 12 fish leaving, and of course at the end of the night, by morning, you'd have 3 left over. And so no matter how many you throw in there, if there are 4 available, they leave, and whoever stays behind, too bad. And so no matter how many fish you throw in there, the most that you could probably get is 3. And so we settle on that, and that's the fish story. The girl remains happy. The 3 ends up being her favorite number. She thinks that she just wanted 3 anyways. That was her favorite number, and she's a happy girl, as happy as can be, and she knows that any more fish would go, and 3 is excellent number. Alright, so this might seem just like a little children's story. That's because it kind of is, but there's actually a deep meaning behind it, and that meaning is, of course, very, very much related to what we're doing today. Today we're studying about I, the imaginary number. And the imaginary number behaves a lot like the fish, and I can't wait to tell you exactly how that goes. But keep this story in the back of your mind. We're going to come back to it, and we're going to understand things in a very, very deep way because we understand the story about the little girl in the four-door magical fishbowl. Alright, that's the story. Come back and let's see the rest.